and thank you for tuning in to Lof8. This is the second episode. I've been watching the views. I think we have like about 56 views on the first one. And so I pray that this is a resource, you know. If it's not, please send me a message and say, hey, you're wasting your time. Let me know, because I'm not here just trying to like put me on a movie. Here I am. Hi, Mom. No, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to provide a resource to internationally provide a resource of tools, and I'm not going to be the only one sharing. We're going to pull people in, we're going to pull pastors in, we're going to pull people that are experts in certain areas of ministry. But today I wanted to talk about balance. An individual asked me, how do you stay balanced? And I don't know, even here, me here at work, I do a lot of stuff. I help with, you know, the overall church. I carry the media. I do the jr.high ministry. At times it can be stressful. You can feel a burden. You can feel a weight. And so I just wanted to address a couple of things that I know have helped me personally get through them, and even advice that people have given me so that I can share with you. The first thing and the most important thing is always prayer. At times this area can be overlooked. This area can be considered a cliche, but the reality is that if you pray, you stay. And the reality is if an individual knows how to separate unto the Lord in the midst of all their ministry, in the midst of everything, not forgetting why they do it and where they draw their strength from to do it. Oftentimes Jesus, in the midst of his ministry, either before he did a great miracle or even after, he would isolate. He would find a place of prayer, a stone's throw away, right? A certain distance, and he would separate himself, and he would get a hold of his Father. And I believe that is the first and most important point, is that an individual must understand the power and the effectiveness of prayer in ministry. And that's getting a hold of God, and that's getting a hold of God in the morning. That's oftentimes in the middle of my work week, I would just have to stop and close the door and turn on worship music and shut off my computer, turn off my phone, and get a hold of God, because I started feeling like anxiety and stress. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to separate, to take a time out, so to speak, and get a hold of God. The second issue is it's an issue of capacity. Balance is an issue of capacity, and lots of times when an individual gets a balloon or a rubber band, the first thing they'll do is they'll start stretching it, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't even know why they do that. But the reason why we do that, the reason why we stretch it out is because ultimately when you stretch it out, you're able to blow more air into that balloon, or you're able to wrap the rubber band around a larger area. And so likewise in ministry, a lot of times the stretching and pulling of this burden, this weight, is what's going to allow you to be able to carry more. You ask people like Pastor Philip LaCrue, you ask people like Pastor Al Valdez or Pastor Sonny Arganzoni Jr., people that wear multiple hats, and Pastor Rick Alanis, they're going to tell you the same thing, that it's an issue of capacity. They have to have, they tell me, pray for capacity. A lot of individuals, they tell me, pray for capacity, because that's what's going to be able to allow you to carry more. You just got to do it. And so it's an issue of capacity and being able to, it gets easier in time. It gets easier as you do it, you're able to carry more and feel the effects less. The next issue is it's an issue of organization. If you look in my office, you'll see like Post-its everywhere, reminding me of all kinds of stuff and dates and times, and oh gosh, I use drugs, so my brain's all jacked up. But it's important to be organized, and it's not even about you. It's for your ministry, for your young people. Oftentimes, if you struggle in this area of organization, pull somebody in, because if you're not organized, then it's the kids that suffer. If you're planning an event, they suffer because it's not quality, or birthdays, and they suffer because you weren't organized. And so oftentimes it's organization that's very important, that an individual stays balanced and you're able to keep track of what you need to do. You're able to keep track of deadlines and stuff like that, is when you're an organized individual. The next issue is delegation. Delegation is very, very important. If an individual can do by himself only so much. And I know when I first started doing junior high, I tried doing everything, and I tried doing the setup. I just tried doing like everything I possibly could, and then I learned that I wasn't being effective where I was supposed to be, was as the junior high leader. I was pulled in different areas when some things I could have delegated to free me up for different things. And I just want to make this point. I want to make this emphasis is to not delegate things that you don't have to delegate. Please don't do that. I believe that God is not calling us to be. God is calling us to be go-getters. Not, hey, you go get that, you know, or that's not what the kind of disciples we're trying to make. That's not what kind of young people we're trying to reproduce. But delegate what you need to delegate. But don't delegate things that are unnecessary. But if you stick to those things, you stick to prayer, you stick to organization and delegation, God is going to meet you. God is going to meet you, and God is going to allow you to live that balanced life. But it's important that you look at these issues, these points, and you really just analyze and reflect and take inventory in your life and say, how am I doing in prayer? Do I feel stressed out? Am I going in my prayer closet and asking God? The Bible says to take His yoke is easy and His burden is light, right? And that He won't give us anything more than we could bear. And there's lots of promises of God that say otherwise, that we shouldn't be stressed, that we shouldn't feel overwhelmed. And so analyze and reflect upon your life and say, am I doing these things? Am I praying? Am I staying organized? Am I delegating what I could delegate? Thank you. Thank you once again for the second edition of Elevate, which stands for Legacy of Hope. H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. So a little insight on Elevate. But stay tuned. Next week I'm going to pull somebody else in. But thank you. Please post comments. Nobody's posted a comment yet. And it's not for me. I'm trying to create an atmosphere of learning, an atmosphere of discipleship, an atmosphere of setting the model and individuals that really want to learn. So check me out, post a comment, and God bless you. Take care, and Junior High needs you. Bye.